All right, so day 45 now. This is gonna be rather interesting to say the least because I got a weird setup here. I don't know if you guys can see, but I got my DJI Osmo Action 4 camera here, and then I got my Insta360 X4 here. I kind of did not have this in mind as far as how in the hell I'm gonna do this, because the situation that I'm kind of having right now is I wanna film with my X4, but I don't know how the audio quality is gonna sound like. And I know I've ordered already a cage for the X4, but I think from what I'm seeing, it's gonna be arriving, I think sometime in the next 2-3 weeks or so. So yeah, I kind of did not have that in mind, but we'll see. First video, sorry about that. We'll see how this goes. Let me just get this X4 recording as well. Okay, so now both simultaneously recording. I'm truly don't know how this is gonna go, but you know what? Fuck it at this point, and we'll see what happens. So you guys can see here, I think I've shot multiple photos in this backyard. It's kind of, okay, not really backyard, but you guys can see here, it's kind of my backyard, but at the same time, it's kind of the woods. So what's the plan for today? I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and see what we kind of got going on. The past couple of days, it's been relatively raining for, I don't know, I would say on and off past couple of hours. So again, we kind of have some rainy / wet conditions over here, but that still doesn't stop us from at least coming out here and at least experimenting with day 45, right? Again, I have truly no idea how in the hell this is gonna go, but I'm only gonna find out once it's in the editing process. So hopefully with that, we should have no worries. I'm still debating as far as what the hell I'm gonna be putting in or what I'm gonna include with these videos, but nonetheless, we'll see what happens and we'll move on from there. So right now, we got a little waterfall right here, and yeah, we got my dog as well. My dog, my loyal companion, following along like he always does with every single adventure I come out here. So I guess it's not really so much, I'm not interested with the photos I'm possibly could take. I'm more worried as for the audio quality for this video, because if it gets, I want to say corrupted, but if something bad goes, or something goes wrong, or something happens, then that just messes up my whole entire video. And kind of like what I stated last video, yeah, we're gonna have to go back to that editing style, or to the video style that I've been, doing for the past 44 days or so. But again, I'm only gonna find out once I'm in the editing process. So now that I'm reaching kind of to a point where I think I might actually like it if we go right here. So what I'm seeing here is that kind of got this going on right now. Again, I'm trying to analyze and see what can be a nice little photo that we can make. Possibly, if we do one here, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. So what I might end up doing is, you know what? Because I'm sure I can think of another better photo spot. We'll leave this one for later, and then if we can't find another one, we'll come back and shoot this one. Right now, I gotta be very careful with these rocks because both of my hands are occupied, and if I fall, that is not gonna be one nice that is not going to be really nice. But I'm sure for you guys it'd be relatively funny, but not for me, because I have roughly, give or so, $1,000 in my hands, and I can't use my hands at the moment. But that doesn't matter. We move on and see what happens. You see, now actually, since we kind of moved up, oh shit, well, I have a little water in my boots, but that's fine. You know, actually, as I'm here, I actually like how this little photo scene is right here. This nice little photo scene. Again, I think what my plan is with, as far as with this video, I'm not too worried about the amount of photos I shoot. Again, since I'm gonna test it out, right? Since this is really just an experimental video in some way, it's not so much as far as to see how many photos I can capture. Here goes my dog, running crazy, but nonetheless, you see what happens. But I think, again, the goal that I'm gonna try to accomplish here is, number one, of course, trying to see if I can, how this is gonna work out for me for my workflow, but we'll see what happens. So right now, what I'm gonna do is just set up my whole cameras, my whole rigs, and see what photos we can take here. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so change of plans here. I really hope and I pray that this footage that or at least not the footage, but at least the audio is decent enough, and hopefully it can, I wouldn't say withstand, but at least hold me up until I get my cage for this X4, because I just finished putting away all my equipment from the DJI action camera, because I realized that there's no way that I'll be able to kind of balance between both the DJI and the X4 right here. So right now what I'm just doing is, again, we're still in the same place. I need to watch where I'm stepping because I just got water in my boots, but nonetheless, I guess it is what it is. Now I'm just trying to find a nice place to set my X4, which I think should be good there. Now I'm gonna focus over here kind of how the water is running. And I just realized I forgot to bring my tripod, but nonetheless, we see what we can do. My dog is going around crazy, but we ignore him. So I guess what my main goal while trying to shoot this scene that I got right now is most likely just, I wouldn't say a motion blur, but just capture. Again, it'd be considered as another landscape photo. I also need to keep an eye out for my dog, make sure that he's not bumping around the camera or he doesn't knock over the X4, but we'll see. So right now we're gonna see what we can capture and we move on to the next one, hopefully, right? So again, I maybe could have considered, would you call it, doing a motion blur, but as I'm looking at it, I completely forgot to bring my tripod. But we see what we can do. But my dog there is just running wild with my camera, but again, if he doesn't do anything, then we shouldn't have to worry about him. So right now we'll see what we can capture here. And if you guys can recall, which day was this from? I think this was from, I can't remember which day it was, but roughly in this same scene was where I did some few other videos where I went to test out the new X4 when I recently got it. So for those that remember, there you go. For those that didn't, well, there's a video for if you want to go look it out. So we'll just see here what we can capture. And for me personally, when I know that I'm gonna take some photos here, I like to have on high shooting, or what would you call it? continuous shooting on the drive mode just so I know if there's one error on a photo, I have extra just for as backup, right? So we got it from that angle. Maybe if we were to this angle, maybe move on to the other side. Alright, should be good there. Now, with that in mind, what I'm gonna do right now is put away my camera because I am scared shitless for if this camera were to fall onto the water, because yeah, how in the hell am I gonna record my videos from now on? But so far we got one photo, hopefully. We got one photo down. So now what we're gonna do is move on to the next photo scene and see what else we can capture. I can say already off the bat that for this video, at least for day 45, we're gonna primarily be focusing on landscape. Now, to be honest with you, that may be the common theme for these somewhat POV style videos, because I don't know if I talked about it some time ago, but I'll talk about it now. It's not that I'm trying to find an excuse for not to do these type of videos, but the issue that I'm gonna find myself in and is that already with my busy schedule with work, and I can already tell you guys off the bat, soon with personal life, it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge to go out and shoot POV style videos. Again, not that I'm trying to bring an excuse or anything, but it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge. But I like a little challenge, so we'll see what happens there. And I can already say, you guys probably might be seeing this scene more used than others. And what I mean by that is mostly, obviously when I'm out, I guess at work now, I'm gonna try to shoot as many POV style POV style videos as I can. But more likely or not, I'm gonna rely on my backyard, which would be considered this, I guess, to kind of use as my quote-unquote photo scene, as I'm gonna call it, right? So that's just something I wanted to talk about, but I'll see what I can do. As I'm talking, I think we've arrived to our next photo scene. Believe it or not, I've already shot this photo scene, I guess you can say, not too long ago. Believe it or not, it was once again when I went out to my backyard and shot those two videos. I still can't remember what day they were, but that's where I shot those two videos. And actually, as I can see it now, since we kind of got a little of a stream going on here, mostly because of a lot of the rain that we've been getting recently, I'm actually going to utilize that and take a photo of this. Again, it would be better off if I had my tripod, so then that way here, taking a little bit inspiration off of that Great Falls Park videos, or of that little series, you can kind of have that little dreamy look with this waterfall effect. But nonetheless, again, since I kind of didn't properly prepare myself for this, what the fuck was that? Alright, well, I don't know what the hell was that, but I guess we continue moving forward. What I'm probably gonna be right here. I think right here is a nice spot. Maybe if we were to go over here. One issue also with this little area is that I've seen a couple of snakes nearby that I gotta really keep an eye out for. I'm not so much as an expert for if they're venomous or not, but I just need to keep an eye out for that. And this is what I want to see. I think this perfect little scene that I got going on here with the water flow, and if I turn to my left over here, we got another one over here. I think this will be good for two little photos we got going on. I gotta keep an eye out for my dog because he's also running out loose and to other backyards, so I gotta keep an eye out on that. But I set up my camera here. I think we should get some pretty decent pics here, at least. So at least that's what I think, but we'll see what happens. So I guess one thing that I also have realized, well, as I'm shooting this, since I'm actually here out and taking photos or attempting to take photos, I think this is where it wouldn't be a bad idea for you guys to see firsthand what lenses I use in different scenarios, right? So obviously you guys know the camera we got is the Sony a6400. The lens I'm going to be using, at least in this case, is the Sigma 30mm f1.4. Mostly because for my 18 to 50mm, I still don't have a little circular polarizer. It's been months since I've had it, and I still haven't went ahead and bought one. Just mostly me slacking off, but nonetheless. Anyways, we move on, and I guess we don't complain too much about it. So what I could do, since although I don't have my tripod, I could in some way, shape, or form try to make that little blurry effect or that dreamy look that we had in Great Falls Park with the waterfall. So what am I gonna do is, first off, I always like to implement some sort of foreground onto my photos. Since I'm worrying about landscape, I usually like to include, whether that's plants or whatever the case may be, as a little bit of an as an element of foreground. So in this case, I'm gonna use the plants that I got nearby here as my foreground, and I'm gonna start to slow the shutter speed. Slow the shutter speed and maybe increase the aperture so we can kind of have a nice balance, and also decrease the ISO. Again, since we're gonna go back in editing, and I can after in the editing process, I can go ahead and raise up the exposure level. So I'm kind of risking the photos being a little bit underexposed, but that shouldn't be no issue. But nonetheless, keep it here. I think we got some pretty decent photos right now. What I'm probably gonna do is take extra photos just in case some don't go to plan. I think, personally speaking, although we didn't quite accomplish the dreamy look that we wanted, I think we still got a pretty decent photo for this little scene. So that should finish up here. Now if we move over to my left side, we kind of got a little bit of a lead in line in a way if we're following the stream. So that is what we're gonna prioritize, at least in this photo. Now for this photo, since I don't have my tripod, I'm gonna raise up the shutter speed, although it does make it fairly dim. So what I'm gonna probably do is take back what I just finished saying, and probably kind of be against this log that I got here, so that can act as my tripod. So maybe, hopefully, we can get that dreamy effect again that I've been trying to get with this photo, but we'll see what happens. Maybe also a tip that I personally like to use, because for me focusing, I have some sort of problems here and there. I like to, from time to time, switch it to manual focus, so then when I'm here in the scene, seeing what focus or what I want to keep in focus, in this case it would be pretty much everything, since I don't have a subject to really put in focus. I like to, every once in a while, switch it to manual focus and kind of manually focus and see what happens. That's just personally a tip that I like to use from time to time. Alright, so we got some photos there. Granted, I don't know if they were pretty good, but I'm only gonna really be able to see after I arrive to my desk and open them up on Lightroom to see how they look. But I think we got, so far, hopefully at least 3 decent photos for, again, this first day that we're experimenting with this new style of videos. So can't really complain here. My goal is to maybe get one more, hell, maybe even 2 more photos. And I think we should call it quits for this video for now, but at least that's a plan I got so far. But we'll only see, or I'll really only see if I can find anything else that I already haven't taken a photo of. But I'm gonna go ahead and explore more of this area and see what else I can find. I don't know how long these videos are gonna be, believe it or not. I'm gonna try to make them. I'm gonna still try to have them under 30 minutes, like how I used to have them. But maybe it depends on how it goes. Just maybe it may even go under 20 minutes, because again, I don't know how long my X4 can record for, but we'll see what happens. But as far as with this video, I'm not gonna prioritize a lot of the length of the video. I'm just mostly, like I've stated already, experimenting, seeing how this first video comes out. I'll truly be able to give my opinions and how maybe even some critiques, mostly in the next video for day 46, after the fact and after I've edited this video that you guys are seeing now. Is when I'll really see, you know, if this style of videos that I'm attempting to accomplish, if this is really going to suit me or not. But again, I can't really complain as far as right now. I mean, granted, like I've stated, I want to make these style of videos, so that way here you guys can see not only just the photo scenes, as I'm calling them, where I'm shooting, but also so you guys can see again my thought process while I'm taking a video or while I'm taking a photo. And again, so you guys don't just sit around and just see one video or one photo being that's getting edited. You know, maybe you guys may see 2, 3, 4, hell, maybe even 5. I don't know. Again, for the quantities of photos that I'm trying to include in this video for today, may not be much, but we can only see. Alright, so after some time now trying to search for a good photo scene, or at least in my opinion, I took roughly about 5 minutes trying to find a good photo scene that probably take, in all fairness, to be my last photo, at least for this video, right? I think we got some pretty good photos, but I'm only going to see once I edit in them. But I think for this last photo scene, since primarily we've been focusing on rivers / streams for this photo, or for this video, I'm sorry, I think just one last little picture of this stream right here that we got going on. I know there's a little waterfall over there behind me, but personally speaking, I don't like how it looks, and I think just taking a nice photo of this stream with the reflections, we may get something. So instead of prioritizing our shutter speed with this, I'm gonna try to raise it up, so then that way here we can kind of get a little bit of the reflection from the stream here, so it can kind of also add in the trees and the leaves from above. But what we got going on here is like this little ripple effect, believe it or not. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how this plays out. But I'm only gonna, let me see what I can do here. Maybe playing around with the settings here. Maybe if we were to raise up our f-stop, and finally maybe raise up our ISO, maybe we could get something interesting. Again, while at the same time maybe even including our polarizer, so we can only see. Again, like I've stated many times throughout this journey, I always like to level my camera from the little level that I got here in the camera. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this little level that I got here in the camera, I always like to while I'm taking the photo, level my camera. So then that way here while editing, I don't have to really worry about that. But as you guys seen from time to time, I always like to maybe alter the level of the photos that I take from time to time. Not all the time, but from time to time. Now, if I get really down to the point that my camera is almost touching the water, I have this actually nice reflection going on here. Like it actually looks pretty nice, and to be honest. So yeah, I mean, as I'm looking at it right here, it looks pretty nice. That I can't really complain as to what we got so far. So maybe if we shoot a couple more, maybe we can call it a day for day 45, but we'll see. Alright, to kind of keep it short, because my X4 is kind of losing battery or whatever the case may be, I'm not sure. That's gonna wrap up day 45 in this case. I hope you guys enjoyed this style of videos that I'm hopefully gonna be attempting to accomplish moving forward. I think for the photos we've taken, I think they were pretty good photos. I think there were 4 or 5 that we took. I'm only gonna see after the fact, and maybe after editing I can really see, you know, how good of a or how decent of a job I did, but I'm only gonna see after the fact. But other than that, for this video, I got nothing else to say. I thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully with tomorrow's video, or depending on when you see this, the next video, I continue on doing this style of videos, because again, it's definitely something I wanted to do since the beginning of this journey. So hopefully we should see what happens there. But other than that, that's all I gotta say, and I'll see you in the next video.